and welcome to our special show, Living Long and Healthy with COVID Vaccination. I'm Gargi Rawat. This is a unique initiative which seeks to address the concerns in people's minds with regards to COVID vaccination and living in the new normal. Now, this period of COVID infections has been tough. The challenges haven't gone away yet. The risk of COVID infections continue as we unlock and start to resume our lives. Today, we have with us experts to share their advice with all of you. We're joined by Dr. Dinesh Agarwal, Vice President, Research Society for the Study of Diabetes in India, Assam Chapter, Guwahati, and Dr. Tehseen Neduvancheri, Interventional Cardiologist, Malabar Institute of Medical Sciences Limited, Kerala. Thank you, doctors, for joining us on the show today and taking your time out. Dr. Dinesh, I'd like to start with you. What are the different types of COVID vaccines currently available in India?
So it's a right and valid question. Nowadays, we have two vaccines currently available. One is Covaxin, which is backed by Government of India, developed by Bharat Biotech and ICMR. It is an inactivated vaccine. Like that means the inactivated vaccine means the killed viruses injected, and when they are injected, it develops the immune response, antibodies which kills the coronavirus infection. Another is Covishield, which is available, developed by the Oxford University and AstraZeneca and produced in India by the Serum Institute, Pune. Both vaccines are very effective. We should not go into the details of how much effective one vaccine over another. At present, without vaccine, we are unprotected. So I advise both vaccines are effective and gives a good protection. So we should take whichever vaccine is available to us to give a protection to ourselves, family members, and the community as a whole.
All right. Now, Dr. Tehseen, what about people who are nervous about the vaccines? Many feel that, the COVID vaccines, are they truly effective? They were developed in less than a year's time.
We used to get a lot of questions like that when we advised them to get vaccinated. Actually, I should say that I got vaccinated. So that's the first proof that I'm believing in the vaccine. And the second part, even though it is developed very quick, it has underwent a lot of trials, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 trials in different countries because it was done on a warp level, and the approvals were given very fast. But still, the adequate precautions were done, adequate studies were done, and it was shown to be very effective and safe. So you don't have to worry about the safety of these vaccines. And you have two options. One, to expose yourself to the COVID virus or to get vaccinated. In that one, the COVID vaccine is the best option that we have. And we should get immunized with the COVID vaccine.
Right, get the vaccine as soon as possible. And Dr. Dinesh, what should one do if they, post the vaccination, if they exhibit any sort of fever-like symptoms?
Oh, this is not an issue. The symptoms after the post-vaccinations are similar to any other vaccines. You look, whenever we go for a vaccination for our children to a pediatrician or our infant, they always say, your child may get fever-like symptoms, or your child may have a pain at the injection sites. So if you have a fever-like symptoms, you can have a paracetamol, or you can contact your doctors. Most of the symptoms are very mild, either at the injection site pain, which goes away with the tablet paracetamol, or with the cold sponging, and you need not have to worry. It is a symptoms majority are as usual as with any other vaccines which we give to our child and to adult, like pneumonia vaccine or influenza vaccines. So we should not worry about that. We should get ourselves vaccinated as soon as possible.
Right. Dr. Tehseen, your view on that,
Yes.
Where and to whom should one report if they get any side effects, if at all? What was your experience?
Most of the time, the vaccination centers will hold these people. When after vaccination, we'll ask them people to wait for half an hour. So, if at all we are expecting a big anaphylaxis kind of any complications, that should happen with that 30 minutes. It's very less. It's not reported yet, but we are taking that precaution. And after that half an hour time, the patients, as doctor said, there can be some fever-like thing and pain at the vaccination site. Most of them will be corrected by the paracetamol, which is available at your own home. But if you feel that this is something serious and some side effects are happening, you can go to the vaccination center. They have a protocol there. There will be good doctors available. And even in that case, if that vaccination center is far away from your place, an MD general medicine or a general practitioner is good enough to treat your complication, the side effects, if at all it happens. The point is, it's extremely rare to have big side effects, important side effects because of the vaccine, apart from some viral fever like symptoms like fever and pain. That's it.
All right. Now, Dr. Dinesh, after taking the COVID vaccine, how long does it take for one to be protected, for the vaccine to be effective?
It's a very valid question. Data from the phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 trial says we get effective protection 14 days after the second dose. It's not like that, getting vaccination and we get protected. We should get a protection at least 14 days after the second dose, and we should, in between, we should take the adequate precautions of wearing mask and so maintaining social distancing.
All right. Well, time for us to slip into a short break. We'll be back with more on vaccinations and COVID. Stay with us. Welcome back to our show, Living Long and Healthy with COVID vaccinations. Dr. Tehseen, I'd like to ask you, after getting the COVID vaccine, if one tests positive for COVID on a viral test, what does one do?
That's a very important question that we used to get this kind of questions after vaccination. There are two kinds of tests available. One is, as you said, is a viral test, and another one is the antibody test. So the viral test is meaning that we are looking for the presence of virus in your body. The antibody test, what we are looking is the response of the body towards the virus or towards the vaccination. So in a viral test, it will be absent even after vaccination. Because the vaccine does not use any active virus. So the vaccine, after vaccination, the viral test will be negative. It should be negative. If at all, if it is positive, that means you got the infection out of before your vaccination. That's the meaning of a viral test being positive. So the viral test will be negative after vaccination. But if you are going for an antibody test, and if your vaccination, after vaccination, the vaccination produces immune response of the body towards the virus. So that immune response we can see as an antibody. So if you are going for an antibody test, it will be positive. But viral test, it will be negative.
All right. Now, Dr. Dinesh, for people with diabetes, is there any special concern? Is there anything specific they have to watch out for after they get vaccinated?
It's again a very valid question. As we know, diabetes is predominant and we are heading towards the diabetic capital of the world. As when you are going for the vaccination, you should not go in the empty stomach. As rightly said, we need to wait for half an hour or after the vaccination, or your turn may get, as all COVID vaccination centers are flooded with the people to get vaccinated. So you may need to wait. So empty stomach, keeping for a longer period of time may lead to the hypoglycemia. So preferably you should get hydrated yourself properly, take your food properly. If possible, test your blood sugar beforehand. If it is toward lower side, have a cup of tea or have some sweets. Basically, you should avoid hypoglycemia for the prolonged fasting. You should not be in the fasting state, adequately hydrated, and this is going to save you from any other complications. Or otherwise, it's better a diabetic patient should get vaccinated to prevent, as immunity is low in diabetes patients.
Now, should people with heart disease or those who've had a heart attack or stroke get the COVID vaccination? Are there any risks, Dr. Tehseen?
Actually, they should. They are the priorities because the COVID, as you know, the COVID virus infection will be, it's 90% of the people will not have much symptoms because of the COVID, and 10% will have a severe disease. Out of those who is having a severe disease, most of them will be having some of the comorbidities like a respiratory disease or a cardiac disease or a stroke or something like that. So these people are a little bit more vulnerable. I'm not saying all are vulnerable. They are a little bit more vulnerable to COVID infection than the general population. So when there is a lack of full availability to the vaccine, so what is happening around the world is that we are prioritizing the vaccine to people who are more vulnerable, like the healthcare people, the older age people, and those who is having a vulnerable disease like cardiovascular disease, heart attack, and the stroke. So these people are getting a better priority, more priority over other people for the vaccine, and these people should get vaccinated, because in case they are getting a COVID infection, the chance of the infection becoming more severe is a little bit more.
Dr. Dinesh, you told us about the 2 vaccines that are currently available in India. What are the other COVID vaccines that are in development?
There are, in the whole of the world, if we talk globally, there are more than 250 vaccines on development phase. But if we talk about the India, there are few vaccines who are in the 3rd phase of trial, like one from the Zydus Ahmedabad, is an indigenous vaccine which is running in their phase 3 trial. Then a vaccine is also developed by the Hyderabad-based biological event company, the first private Indian company who is developing this. Then there is a nasal vaccine, also in the phase 1 trial with the Bharat Biotech. Then we are doing in India bridging trial of the Sputnik vaccine developed by the Russian country. So there are so many vaccines, and I think within a time frame of 2 to 3 months, we have 2-3 more vaccines with us with good efficacy and good protection. So we are doing a good job in India developing more and more vaccines with a good number of production capacity and exporting to the more than 71 countries.
Right, India is the vaccine manufacturing capital of the world. So with the vaccination drive now moving, with COVID numbers having come down from what we saw way back in 2020, Dr. Tehseen, the question everybody wants to know is, when can we stop wearing a mask?
Oh, that's a very difficult question to answer, because even though we are getting vaccinated, the protection that we are getting from the vaccine is not 100%, one side. Second, the vaccination, 100% vaccination happening in India it will take a lot of time. So for the time being, we should wear the mask and keep our distance and sanitize our hands for our protection, for our family's protection, and the protection of the entire nation. So the time until where we should wear the mask, we cannot predict, but hopefully it may happen within a few months, and that's what we are expecting.
Now, Dr. Dinesh, coming back to the question of the vaccines, we've seen in certain countries in Europe, they briefly put a pause on the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine, and that's the vaccine that we're using here in India, the Covishield vaccine. So it's led to some concerns over here. What would you say to people here? Because, AstraZeneca has said their vaccine is safe, WHO has said it's safe, the UK has also defended the AstraZeneca vaccine.
It's a very good question. Myself has taken the Covishield, and it is still I have taken in the first lot in the January, and I am still fine. And whoever got the Covishield vaccine, it's pretty safe. There are 1 or 2 data are there. They have a more of clotting disease, but that needs to be evaluated properly. Just getting some data from somewhere, that should not be the cause. And I think the Covishield is safe. In India, we have vaccinated more than 20 million people without any side effects. So I say we should not worry about this, all the data which are coming, and our regulatory authority has approved the vaccines after thorough going through the thorough data, and they are still looking at, and as WHO says and the Indian regulatory says, these are pretty safe. I don't think there should be any concern that we should not use this vaccine.
All right. And Dr. Tehseen, now what are the other questions? We were speaking about people with heart disease, etc. People on blood thinners, what about them? This is also a question that many people have. Do they need to do anything special? Can they go ahead and take the vaccine?
They can. There are 2 kinds of blood thinners that we use. One is the usual one, that antiplatelets, that aspirin kind of things that we prescribe after heart attack. And those patients who are taking aspirin and clopidogrel, some of the medicines like aspirin, they don't have to worry about taking the vaccine. The vaccine is taking intramuscularly into the muscle, most on the left arm, and they can take the medicine without any much side effect and much concerns. Some kind of blood thinners like the warfarin or acetrom that we used in patients who had valve replacements. So these patients, the activity of these medicines are measured using some test called International Normalized Ratio, INR, that is the PT value. So if these values are abnormal, let us say the PT should be between 2, INR should be between 2 and 3, and let us say the patient's value is 7 or 8, it's very high, then that they have to wait for the PT value to be normalized before going for this vaccination. Otherwise, these injections can cause some hematoma or bleeding in that areas. Otherwise, these usually the blood thinners are not a problem for vaccination.
All right, so that's very helpful because, many elderly people are on blood thinners in India. And coming back to the question of diabetes, there's so many people are suffering from diabetes in India. Dr. Dinesh, what about people with type 1 diabetes? Any special, advice for them?
Now, the vaccine is pretty safe for these patients also, and one should take. And as I have already said, the concern is that prolonged fasting leads to the hypoglycemia. Whenever you land up into the vaccination center, please have your proper medicine and proper meal, and preferably you should check your blood sugar beforehand. And if you find the symptoms of hypoglycemia during vaccination after that, you should hydrate yourself properly, and keeping these small measures, one should not have any problem whether they are having diabetes, type 1 or type 2 or any other concern. It's a very safe, one should take it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Dinesh and Dr. Tehseen, for taking time out and answering all those questions. And clearly the message out to tell our viewers right now is if you're eligible, do go ahead and take that vaccine and protect yourself against coronavirus. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.